The Elder Tree Grove says, considering the myriad of evidence related to Bigfoot, but also considering the lack of a voucher specimen, what is what is, in your opinion, the most reasonable position to take on this matter? I would say open-mindedness. I acknowledge there are reasons to be skeptical of the idea of an undiscovered large North American primate, but I also recognize that there's more evidence for Bigfoot than you might think. What we don't have is what the Elder Tree Grove notes as a voucher specimen, also sometimes called a type specimen, which is a specimen that can be scientifically studied. Typically, it's a corpse. It doesn't have to be, it could also be alive, but we don't have that for Bigfoot. And so that's why Bigfoot is considered undiscovered by mainstream science, though studied by cryptozoology. Um, I would say that open-minded skepticism towards Bigfoot is the position that I prefer. It's the position that I myself take. I'm not at all convinced that Bigfoot exists, or other Bigfoot-like creatures, but I'm open, and I don't dismiss evidence that genuinely is unusual and that could point to a North American primate. I'm going to be talking about this more on Mysterious World. Early on, this is like 7 years ago when we first started the podcast. In episode 3, we looked at Bigfoot, and at the time I said, I would love for Bigfoot to be real. But I said, I don't think the evidence points in that direction. And I really regret one particular thing. I had encountered some problematic data about people who had claimed to be involved in hoaxing the Patterson-Gimlin film, which is the famous 1967 film where you see Bigfoot walking across a creek bed and turns and looks at the camera, and that's the basis for a lot of the silhouettes that you see of Bigfoot today. And there were individuals, there was a costume maker who claimed to be involved in that, and there was also a gentleman named Bob Hieronymus who claimed to have been in the suit. But it later turned out those claims, both on the part of the costume maker and on the part of Bob Hieronymus, were problematic. And I didn't know enough at the time to spot that. And so I've regretted passing on that information without the context indicating that these claims have been made, but they are problematic. And there's actually more to be said about the Patterson-Gimlin film in its favor than I was aware of at the time. And so I planned on revisiting the topic of Bigfoot on Mysterious World and taking a closer look at it over a number of different episodes. One thing I would recommend to people who don't want to wait for that is a book called Sasquatch by a gentleman named Jeff Meldrum, who is he's I'm it's on the tip of my tongue, but I better not say it because I don't want to say it wrong. But he is a actually qualified scientist to know about, for example, primate musculature and things like that. And he believes that Bigfoot is real. And if you read his book, he's got a lot of evidence that's quite significant. Coming up on Mysterious World in April, I am kind of beginning this new occasional look at Bigfoot and Bigfoot-like creatures with an episode based here in Arkansas on the Fouke monster. Now I'm in Northwest Arkansas in Fayetteville, but if you take Highway 71 straight down from Fayetteville down the western side of Arkansas to southwestern Arkansas, and just stay on Highway 71, you're going to hit a town called Fouke. And in and around Fouke, there have been reports of a Bigfoot-like creature that has come to be known as the Fouke monster. It's also featured in the Boggy Creek movies, the only one of which that's worth watching for anything other than comedy purposes is The Legend of Boggy Creek. That's the first of the Boggy Creek movies, and it's done as a kind of docudrama. The others are totally fiction. But I'm going to be looking at the Fouke monster. in this episode. We've already recorded it. It's in post-production right now, and it'll be coming out towards the beginning of April. And before we go, don't forget to like, comment, share the podcast with others, and subscribe. When you subscribe, hit the bell notification so you always get notified whenever I have a new video. Thank you, and God bless you.